Hey everybody. So this is a really quick session on what my expectations are for your MVP presentations on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, what is the date on Tuesday? Let me pull up our calendar. Tuesday the 28th, you will be doing your MVP presentations. Everybody has to present. And it's pretty much very similar to what you would do in the future whenever you are asked for project updates. So that's why this MVP presentation is kind of important. But this one I'm going to do fairly informal, which is usually what it is. If it's just like a midway update, it's a typically informal presentation. So I'll talk about format and like things that I'm expecting to see. So first, here are some of my notes. In around 5 minutes, each presentation does not have to be long. I'm expecting all of these to be well under 5 minutes, so we can just get through one by one real quick. So first, tell us about what your project is overall. No matter where you're at in defining it, let's say you're still ironing out some details, you can mention that. You can say that, I'm still figuring this out. Or if you have relevant details that you think people would need to know to understand what you're going to talk about for the rest of the presentation, mention those as well. What your business case is, what is the model? Is it going to be a classification problem, a regression problem? Is it a recommendation engine, forecasting model? Is it NLP? Is it image data? So on and so forth. Also give us a quick update on what it is that you're currently working on. So wherever you are at, just tell us what point you're at, because we know that 2 weeks that you have 2 weeks after this presentation to keep working on your project. So give us a midway point update. At this point, any interesting EDA to show or tell? Show us if you would like. Any big hurdles that you've gotten over? I think right now, most people are in the data collection stage or in the data exploration stage. If you have faced anything with, data that you've gotten on your own, any tips, learnings, tricks that you've, garnered over the last, at this point, it will be 2 weeks, please share. What you hope to have as a final product and any limitations you're encountering or you foresee. So you can see here is a very, very informal, pretty much status update on your project. Now, the format of this is also very, very up to you. I've had students who don't share their screen. And by the way, I will not be recording these presentations because it is meant to be very informal. Also, you're free to ask each other questions, discuss if you find out that you're working on something similar as someone else. This is the time to find that out. So in terms of the formatting, you don't have to prepare anything if you don't want to. I will say that some students like to use this as a point of, or as a milestone to start creating the presentation, because you have, EDA, you have the business case that's being set up. So some people create like, I don't know, 1/3 or maybe half of their final presentation for this MVP presentation. If not, some people don't even show anything. They just talk about their project. You can also, I've had students scroll through their Jupyter notebook. I will ask if your Jupyter notebook is very, very long, don't do that. Or if you want to just like copy and paste some cells and outputs over, make it such as more streamlined. So it's not a lot of like, oh, let me find this particular thing that I'm looking for. So in terms of the format of this presentation, my recommendation is to use this as a deliverable to start making your presentation. Of course, it will not be subjective. I will not be grading these presentations either, but you can use that as an opportunity to like start building your presentation. And maybe you can use it as a platform for your, as you're working your way through the second half of your project, add to that narrative. So I do recommend starting off with your slideshow. But again, you don't have to. If you want to show us more code, show us just like graphs that you've created, you can do that too. But yeah, again, it shouldn't be very stressful. It shouldn't be something that you have to really prepare for. I would say maybe just make like a short list of things that you want to mention. And I will also be asking guiding questions as well. Even though I do know all your projects, I will be asking some guiding questions so that people can understand your project better. Does anyone have any clarifying questions regarding this MVP presentation? I'll randomize an order for doing this next week when we come back. But yeah, if anyone wants to go first or last or whatever, just let me know. But yeah, in terms of order, I'm pretty much just gonna randomize. Any clarifying questions on this? All right, well, if there are no clarifying questions, I know a couple people just joined, but I finished talking about what I was gonna say. So check out the recording. It's gonna be up on YouTube like within the hour. But yeah, just for the couple of you who have just joined, we are doing MVP presentations at our next study group. Final reminder, Thursday and Friday, so tomorrow and Friday, I will not be here. So if you have any questions, please put them in the Slack channel. It will be easier for me to see if other people are working on stuff, help each other out as well. And then also, as I'm answering questions, I can just be in one place rather than check all of my DMs. So if you have questions, I recommend that you do that. Also, while I'm away, if you need immediate help, there is a @DS support squad that you can actually tag, and it will notify all the other data science instructors. So if you need help from anyone else, and it's, I don't know, more time sensitive, you can do that too. I'll make a note of that on our Slack channel as well. But cool. That was a quick one. Does anyone have any questions or clarifications on that? All right, so really, it's just a midway check-in point for your projects. Also, at the end of this week, I'm going to be Slacking each of you individually to ask for a project update and where you're at. So we will talk then. Cool, I'm going to stop the recording here.